Hello and welcome. So, given that we have two similar triangles here and all of the stated information, solve for h. Alright, so when we're going through this, anything similar triangles, we want to figure out, okay, what two triangles are you looking at? Whether these are going to be like two triangles on top of each other, whether they're going to be like the bow tie triangles, right? If they're two similar triangles, identify where the triangles are. Like if it's the bow tie, it's the little triangle and big triangle, right? Sorry, triangles in each other versus bow tie. Here's triangle 1, here's triangle 2, right? Identify the similar triangles first. Alright, so looking at this, I'd say, alright, when we're looking at this, we want to go through with corresponding sides. So here we see the longest side of the triangle will correspond to the longest side of the triangle on the other. So I like the going bigger triangles over smaller triangles, proportion-wise. Okay, so I'm going to go with 14h over, and then what you put underneath it is the larger side on the other triangle. So over 15. So then we have large side corresponds to large side of the two triangles. Now for the other proportion, all you do is similar. We only have two other given sides, which is the medium side of each triangle. You just want to make sure you stay consistent in your proportions. We do 5h plus 8, go from bigger triangle to the smaller triangle, right, over 14. And there you go. There's your proportion. You can solve now. And that's as crazy as similar triangles is going to go. You just want to figure out, alright, what are the two triangles? Create the proportions from there. Alright, so looking at this first one, I'd say, alright, so we have 14h over 15 equals 5h plus 8 over 14. First thing I want to do is get rid of those fractions, right? So if we have a denominator of 15, multiply by 15. What you do to one side, do to the other, the 15s will cancel. Likewise, you want to get rid of the 14, so multiply that to both sides as well. And that will cancel the 14 on the right. So on the left side, we're left with 14 times the 14h. Alright, and then on the right side, we're left with the 15 and the 5h plus 8 being multiplied together. Okay, don't forget those parentheses, they are there, right? You can't multiply a single term to doubles without them. Okay, and then from there, it's just solve for h. So then you would do your 14 times 14, alright, which is going to give you 196. H equals, and then distribute on the other side. So we have the 15 times 5, which is 75h. And then the 15 times 8, which will give us 120. Alright, you want all of your h's to combine. You want h equals, that is your goal. So we're going to subtract that 75 to move it to the other side. Now, could you subtract the 196h to the other side and then subtract the 120 to move that to the other side? Yes, you could. I just prefer my variables positive. That's why I moved the 75 over. Alright, so we have 196 subtract 75, and when we do that, we end up with 121h equals 120. So divide by 121, and you're left with h equals 120 over 121. And that's as simplified as it gets, so that is your answer. Okay, you just have to double check to make sure that if you plug it in, you end up with a positive number, which is true for this case, because a positive times a positive is a positive plus 8, it's still positive. You don't have to worry about the solution failing as much on this one, right? But something good to double check. Same thing if you plug it into that one. Positive times a positive is a positive. It'll work out. Okay, alrighty, but that is it. That it's solving similar triangles. Thanks for watching.